Alright folks, welcome back to Moonshine Radio here. Today we're getting back to school here on our SDR class. And today's topic here on Moonshine Radio will be the PolyPhase filter banks. We're going to cover this with GNU Radio. In a link below this video is all the GNU Radio scripts, including the IQ file. So you will need no SDR hardware to follow along with this class. All you need is GNU Radio installed on your PC. So it is very simple, and you can follow along with Dr. Moonshine and how we lead up to the PolyPhase filter banks and how that is the most efficient way to channelize a filter in the DSP domain. Okay, next slide. We're going to talk about what file we're actually going to be processing. So here's an overview of what hardware this signal may have gone through. We start with the antenna, low pass filter, then it goes into some analog to digital converter running at some sample clock. Then in firmware it goes to a digital down converter block where we tune around. And finally, we're left with this IQ signal, which we call Z, and it has an IQ sample rate of 96 kilohertz, which means the bandwidth is also 96 kilohertz because it's an IQ signal. So this file at 96 kilohertz is what we will be processing in GNU Radio to demodulate AM signals within this 96 kilohertz bandwidth. We will be doing this all with DSP and modern processing. So if you were hoping to see some crystal detector, vacuum tube from the 1930s, some 1970 receiver bullshit, well, probably don't want to be watching this video and go find the other clowns on YouTube. Okay, so if we look at the spectrum of what's in this IQ file, it basically will contain 3 AM signals here. And we're going to show how we can tune in the 1 AM signal at 32 kilohertz. And later in the video, we'll go through the GNU Radio flow graphs that walk you through all this. But for right now, we're just giving a high-level introduction. All right. Slide 4. First, we're going to do the classical way, the Armstrong heterodyne way in DSP. And this is your analog approach of how you would tune in that guy up at 32 kilohertz. But we'll see, as Fred Harris tells us, just because that's what you do in the analog realm doesn't mean it makes sense to do that in the DSP realm. And I also link his video below where he gives a whole walkthrough of the evolution leading up to the PolyPhase channelizer. So if you got yourself an hour and really want to dive into the math, go ahead and watch that video. But anyway, this is our classical method of how we would do that. We then approach another method where we first make a bandpass filter centered at our frequency and then downsample. This works as well. It has some problems, but it does work in the DSP realm. Because, again, changing the filter bandwidth and center frequency in DSP is just changing numbers. It's not like we have to change capacitors or anything. So it's rather simple. And then lastly, we will lead up to the final GNU flow graph that will show us the PolyPhase channelizer, which is this graph here. Absolute DSP madness that breaks the signal into many fur banks and then finally leading us through an FFT block to mix down all of the signals down to baseband. Here we show a 6-channel PolyPhase bank, but I have heard of things as crazy as a 4,000 channel PolyPhase bank. So literally breaking spectrum down into 4,000 separate channels from some high sample rate. All right, that's the overview. Now we will get into the GNU Radio slides again.
Swaps on mortgage bonds, credit default swap that will pay off if the underlying bond fails.
You want to bet against the housing market?
Yes.
Why? Those bonds only fail if millions of Americans don't pay their mortgages. That's never happened in history. If you'll excuse me, Dr. Berry, it seems like a foolish investment.
Based on prevailing sentiment of the market, banks, and popular culture, yes, it's a foolish investment, but everyone's wrong.
That's a good one.
The inclusion of the Xilinx Sync 7020 system on chip ensures superior computational capabilities, allowing for faster and more efficient data processing.
I want to buy swaps on mortgage bonds, credit default swap.
Widely used by engineers around the globe and redesigned it to offer 4 input channels and improved technical specifications.